All right, good morning, everyone. This class video is for Thursday, April 23rd, 2020, for my freshman class. Hope you guys are well today. This is our last class of this week. So today, we're going to cover a little bit more about what we mean when we say that Jesus is both God and man. So we talked a little bit about yesterday. We're talking about what did Jesus reveal to us about God? A lot of things, but one of the biggest things is that Jesus revealed that God is love and that God is a communion of three persons that we call the Holy Trinity. So yesterday I went through what it means for something, what it means if God is love, then how God has to be a communion of persons. So 1 John says, whoever is without love does not know God, for God is love. So if God is love, here's kind of the key thing. He must be in himself multiple persons, because true love is always going to give itself to something. It's always going to give itself, in fact, to someone. There's always the person who loves, the person who receives that love, the beloved, and returns that love back to the person who gave the love. And if that love is so great and so profound, that shared love between persons, it oftentimes becomes a third person. The best example of this is the love between a husband and a wife is so great that they become a dad and a mom, because that shared love actually is so profound that it becomes a child. When you kind of think of the Trinity, kind of think of it in that way. The love shared between the Father and the Son is so profound that a name is given to it. We call that the Holy Spirit. St. Augustine said, wherever there's love, there is a Trinity, a lover, a beloved, and a fountain of love. Again, the person who loves, the person who receives that love and returns that love, and the shared love between them. So the Trinity is truly a mystery. It's the greatest mystery in our faith, and it gets at the nature of who God is in and of himself. We're made for love because we're made in God's image and likeness, and God in himself is a communion of love. Again, mysteries, they're not meant to be solved, but rather entered into over the course of our lives. And the more we do that, the more we start to live within God's own very life. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about Jesus' nature. Jesus' two natures, to be precise. Jesus Christ, we believe both God and man. Whenever we recite the creed, we talk about the incarnation. We talk about this reality that we call the hypostatic union. That's a big word that basically says, from a theological perspective, it kind of gets to this reality that Jesus is fully God. He has a divine nature, so he's fully God. He's also fully man, meaning he has a human nature, but this doesn't make him two people. This doesn't like split him down the middle because he's both God and man. The hypostatic union means that both of those natures are united in one person, in Jesus himself. So Jesus has both divine nature and a human nature, but is still one person through what we call the hypostatic union. Why two natures? If you think about it, go all the way back to the start of the year where we talked about Adam and Eve and their original sin. The sin the sin that occurred was committed by humans, correct? Adam and Eve, the fall in the garden, that original sin which has affected us ever since, us being descendants of Adam and Eve. So that sin was so great that only God could bridge the gap. The story of salvation history is basically humans and God trying to work things out. The greatest gift of Jesus entering into our existence as God was that only he could bridge that gap. And he did through his passion, his death, and his resurrection. So that's the reason why Jesus, had to be divine, because we can't bridge that infinite gap, that sin that we committed, we couldn't make up for on our own behalf. But also, the reason why Jesus entered into our human existence is to redeem human nature. A human had to pay back the debts of sin. Remember, Adam and Eve were human. They weren't gods when they sinned. And so to redeem human nature, Jesus entered fully into humanity to pay back the debt of that sin. So that's why Jesus, there's a lot of answers why, but really it kind of goes back to the fact that someone had to bridge this gap between us and God, And someone had to do that also by fully entering into our humanity to become one of us. And so again, to review, on the right side there, you kind of see a few different things. This is kind of an image of God, the Trinity, three persons in one Godhead. So we have Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all united as one God. And we also see Jesus there, what I just mentioned a moment ago. So Jesus, remember, one person, but two natures. You are one person, but you only have one nature, a human nature. Who you are is that you're a human. You don't have any other natures. But Jesus, the miracle that he is that he contains two natures, a human nature, okay, just like us, but also divine nature, fully God, the second person of the Trinity. So again, another tremendous mystery of our faith that Jesus revealed to us during his life on earth. So that might have been a lot of kind of theological talk, theological jargon. I think this assignment will kind of help you guys practice a little bit what I kind of just talked about when it comes to Jesus being both God and man. So if you head on over to Google Classroom, this is your assignment for over the weekend. Let's see here. Yes, so what you're going to do is you're going to learn a little bit more about one of the most popular images of Jesus that is out there. It's been painted in many different ways, but it's called the Christ Pantocrator. And I want you to Google image that and find three to five interesting facts about the painting. There are different versions of it. So find out some interesting facts about a particular version of the Christ Pantocrator painting, and read the article below if you're having trouble finding information, because this has some information on the painting as well. Then what I want you to do next is click on the image of the painting. So I uploaded a version of it that's most popular. What I want you to do is get a piece of paper, something that can't really be seen through, we'll just say this, and cover up one half of the image and look at it. Right down the middle, not this, but right down the middle, and then cover up the other half of the image and have a look at it and see how it kind of see what kind of impression you get about who Jesus is based on one half and the other half. So that's kind of the assignment. And then last, I want you to kind of reflect. Okay, looking at one half of Jesus's face down the middle, it kind of impresses me. Gives me this sort of impression. Looking at the other half, it gives me a totally different impression about who he is. How does this picture display what we mean when we say Jesus is both God and man? How do they kind of come together? How are they different? How are they similar? And how does Jesus bring both being God and being man together within himself? So this is due Monday, April 27th by 4 p.m. It's kind of more centered around art, which I hope you'll enjoy, and kind of has to do a little bit more with your own personal opinion and impression of that particular painting. So that's all I have for you guys for today. I'll see you guys on Monday for our live Zoom classes again, or for 6th and 7th period, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. This assignment is due Monday by 4 p.m. Don't hesitate to reach out with any questions you have or comments through Blackbot. Thanks, guys.